This week on the Analog Circle podcast, Mafia The Old Country will be showing off actual gameplay footage very, very soon. We get more concrete hints about Resident Evil 9 being in development, along with more Resident Evil news. We finally find out what Xbox exclusive is being developed by People Can Fly, which was codenamed Maverick. And not all of Nintendo Switch 2 upgrades, or should I say video game upgrades, will be $10. Oh, we definitely have to talk about that. But all of these stories can be found here and a whole lot more in episode 254 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, sit down and relax, because we are going to have a great conversation today. And if you are traveling, hopefully we can accompany you to your destination. Now, you, the listener, if you want to be a part of listener feedback, you can do it two different ways. You can either email the show at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com, or if you don't want to email and you actually want to have your voice literally be heard, you can call the show at 443-627-9087. Now, guys, I have been gone for 2 weeks, and I do believe it is time to get into what we all come here for, and that is no doubt the gaming news that went down. So let's go ahead and let's get things started with a story that I got from PlayStation Blog. Oh, this is some big news. So this week, or should I say last week, we were hit with some fantastic news. Now, PlayStation Blog has announced, quote, "We are so excited to announce that Ghosts of Yotei, or Yotei, comes to PS5 on October 2nd, 2025. It's been nearly 5 years since we shipped Ghosts of Tsushima, and in that time, we've been hard at work making Ghosts of Yotei something special. While the stories are unrelated, it's important to us to make this a worthy follow-up to Jin's journey, and we can't wait for you to experience Atsu's quest for vengeance later this year." End of quote. October 2nd can't come fast enough. Golly. I am extremely excited about this one. Oh, man, I was such a big fan of Ghosts of Tsushima, that story, the gameplay, the graphics. Oh, man, it was a remarkable game. That storyline at the end, I'm a little upset to a certain degree, just a little hurt that they didn't finish the story with Jin, because depending on what decision you made at the end, oh man, they could have went a couple of directions, if you know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna be no spoilers, but man, I really wish they would have continued that off. But unfortunately, we're going to doggone Yotei in this one, and it seems that the new character's name is Etsu. So I definitely look forward to meeting Etsu and seeing what kind of move she's going to have. I mean, she got the wolves out there with her. I don't know if they're going to be attacking like Shadow Dancer. I don't know if some of y'all are old enough to have played Shadow Dancer from the Sega Genesis. That had to be the first game with a dog in it that you could actually use to attack on people. Be like, sick 'em, boy, get 'em. And he would jump on him and he would be biting on him and whatnot. It was an absolutely amazing game. One of my favorite soundtracks from the era of the Sega Genesis. So is it going to be a situation where, you get to know good old Wolfie over there, and you're able to sick 'em on people while you're on the horse? You know, you see some enemies and he's able to make a distraction. I don't know how it's going to work yet. You know, I don't even know if the wolf is actually even going to be in the game. I mean, they showed him off, showing his teeth and whatnot. I mean, I'm thinking, looked like she kind of tamed him, you know, in the trailer. So I'm really excited about this one. Now, this goes back to a question that I've been asking. Now, granted, I ain't going to jump forward yet. We're going to save that to a little bit later into the show. But yeah, just remember October 2nd, Ghosts of Yotei will be releasing. And some people said online, now this was something I heard from Porter Rock. Shout out to that good brother. Definitely check him out on YouTube. The brother is awesome. But he said that there was something going on. And shout out to Z2. Got to check out the Broadband Bully. Shout out to both of those brothers. But the thing that he had mentioned, he had said something about somebody made a bet that Ghosts of Yotei was going to be more than $70 because of Super Mario Kart World or something like that. That didn't work out. That game is still $70, and I love it. Oh man, we got quite a few things to talk about with Nintendo, but we're gonna get there. But let's go ahead and let's move on in to the next story that I actually got from Notebook Check. Oh man, this game right here. This game is elusive. Elusive. Did I say that right? Elusive. I think it's pronounced elusive. So let's talk about some GTA 6. I guess we could say rumors.
Rumor has it is something that only I know.
So for many gamers, GTA 6 is their most anticipated game of 2025. I mean, because, you know, I mean, look, it is definitely one of mine. But because of this, any possible info about the title that people can find, they hold on to it like a vice grip, you know, which leads us to May 15th. Now, if you didn't know, that's when Take-Two Interactive will present its Q4 and full year 2025 financial results during an investor's call that takes place, and keep this in mind, it's going to take place at 4:30 p.m. EST. Again, it's going to be on where's the date? May 15th. Now, what the hope is, why people are holding on to this date so hard, is that they are hoping that some new information during this call will come out about GTA 6, and in that information, they're hoping that the next trailer will be talked about, and they'll give a timeline on when it will be dropped. Now, I got to say, if we are going off of history from Rockstar or Take-Two, they don't seem to leak this kind of information. But again, when you're thirsty, when you're starving, when you're hungry and you're cold outside, any little bit will help. Any little bit will do. So it's a situation where people are just holding on to hope. Like I said, if you're hungry, what did Eddie Murphy say, man? He always talked about that Ritz. You know, man, that wasn't no regular cracker. That was a Ritz cracker that I just ate. Yeah, that thing wasn't normal. That wasn't a saltine. No. It's kind of that kind of situation with this. They're like, yeah, I understand it's May 15th, you know, but guess what? That's the financial day. That's when they're going to talk about the financial. So hopefully something during that day will come out about GTA 6. Again, I'm not very hopeful about it, but usually when I'm not too hopeful about some things, they actually do happen. So here's to hoping that we get some information in the next 15 days about GTA 6, but only time will tell. And again, take this with the mustard seed of truth. Let's go ahead, guys, and let's get into the next story that I got from PureXbox.com. Now, as part of a feature-packed monthly update for April. Let me read that again. Now, as part of a feature-packed monthly update for April, Microsoft is adding the ability to stream, quote, backwards compatible games from the original Xbox and Xbox 360, end of quote, using remote play. Now, remote play is where you access. I mean, and that is if you don't know about it. I mean, we all do, but let's just do a recap, just in case. But remote play is where you access your console remotely from another device to play your Xbox library on another screen. Now, up to this point, we haven't been able to play back-compat games remotely. So we see, and this is the thing, we see Xbox continuously. They continue to improve their features. Now, Microsoft also stated that remote play is getting wider device support in the near future with, quote, supported Samsung smart TVs, Amazon Fire TV devices. Man, you can go elsewhere with that one. And MetaQuest headsets, end of quote, becoming remote play compatible soon. They said it's going to be, all of that is going to be compatible soon. And the Xbox expands, when Xbox expands the features functionality. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Again, being able to play your original Xbox games, your Xbox 360 games, playing them backwards compatible on a different screen, knowing that they're going to be bringing these things to different TV devices, Amazon Fire Sticks and Samsung TVs, and even the headset, the MetaQuest headset is definitely giving you a lot of different options to play these games backwards compatible outside of your Xbox. Again, I am not a fan of this, but technology can be a little tricky. Matter of fact, didn't the Xbox 360, I believe, online portion actually just shut down not too long ago? Hold on. I don't want to give misinformation. So let's look that up real quick. Let me pull up good old Googs real quick and see if we can get a bead on this story. There we go. Hold on. Let me go ahead, pick up Googs. Trying to find it right now. Here we go. When is the Xbox 360 online store closing? Oh, shucks. All right, I'm late. All right, it was officially closed July 29th, 2024. Oh, man. Yeah, I messed that up. God, dog. Pardon me. So this has been over almost a year now. So, yeah, it makes sense that they would definitely give you different options to be able to access these games as far as backwards compatibility. And we know that this is the direction that Xbox has been headed in for quite some time. I don't agree with it, but it is unfortunately what it is right now. But let's go ahead though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from Insider Gaming. So one of the other games that is under the Take-Two banner, oh man, it ain't just GTA 6. I've talked about this game before, but again, let me start over again, jumping a little bit ahead of myself. It's been 2 weeks. I'm a little rusty. But one of the other games that is under the Take-Two banner that many are looking forward to is Mafia The Old Country. And over on Twitter, the team made the following announcement, and I quote, "The silence is nearly over. Get ready. May 8th. Yeah, they didn't say 8th. I don't know what's up with the TH not being there, but they said May 8th. Marks the next chapter. Hashtag Mafia The Old Country official gameplay trailer drops at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. BST, hashtag PAX East Developer Panel follows at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. BST. End of quote. We're about to get some gameplay. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this makes me feel so good. It's 8 days away, brothers and sisters. 8 days. 8 days. Does that fall on a Tuesday? Hold on. Let's look this up. Hold on. The calendar got to pull you up. That falls on. Oh man, it ain't a Tuesday. It falls on a Thursday. So next Thursday, we will be getting Mafia The Old Country official gameplay. And if I'm not mistaken, oh, brothers and sisters, I believe this is Unreal Engine 5 about to be on full display. Oh, my goodness. Let me look that up real quick just to be on the safe side. Is Mafia The Old Country being developed in Unreal Engine 5? It says Mafia The Old Country was developed using Unreal Engine 5 with Alex Cox serving as the game's director. Man, shout out to Alan Cox. I don't even know this brother right now, but I'm hoping that after this, we'll have a closer relationship. Now, it does say Cox said that moving to Unreal Engine 5 has, quote, allowed for an even higher level. Oh, this is great news. He said it is allowed for an even higher level of visual fidelity than previous Mafia games. End of quote. And I will say this. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Mafia, the first Mafia that got a remake, man, oh man, Hangar 13 was on their A game. Oh man, the A team had to be working on that game, because when I go back in my mind and I think about that story, now I get it, Mafia. How can I say this? The key word is remake. So I understand that already the foundation was laid. I get that. That's the story. That's the characters. That's the world. All of that stuff, the themes, I 100% get that. But the way they brought that game to life, oh my goodness. And the ending, I did not see, I'm not going to say I didn't see it coming, but, oh man, I don't want to spoil it. Golly, almost slipped up there. But I'll say this. It's like in that life, that anything can happen. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I don't want to get too deep into it, because some people may want to, just kind of brush up on the Mafia franchise if they haven't already. And I don't want to ruin the story, but man, just the gameplay, the graphics, the story, the voice acting. Oh man, if that, which is the last thing, and I want to make sure, I believe Hangar 13 was behind that, right? Who was the developer on Mafia Remake? Yeah, it was Hangar 13.
According to Wikipedia, Mafia Definitive Edition is a remake of the original Mafia game, developed by Hangar 13 and published by 2K Games for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One in September 2020.
There it is. I just wanted to make sure, my memory be shot sometimes. It's shot a little bit. So yeah, Hangar 13, all you can do is judge a developer off of their last outing. And since that's been the last outing that Hangar 13 has had, man, they made an impression. Those different characters, man, how he got, it's so much I want to say about that game, but I don't want to spoil it. It was just certain characters that you thought were going to go one way, and man, all I'm going to say, man, people wasn't let's just say, I ain't gonna spoil it. Anyway, that's what gets me so excited about Mafia The Old Country. We've seen little bits and pieces of the gameplay inside of these clips, but just knowing that visual fidelity, working off of Unreal Engine 5, and just the track record that Hangar 13 has. Now, granted, you can say a lot of things about Hangar 13, the graphics and the past. Definitely not Mafia remake. Take that out of there. But I'm just saying, in the past, going back to Mafia 3, you could say that the graphics weren't quite up to snuff, or the gameplay left a bit to be desired. But it's one thing that those jokers get correct. At least 2 out of the 3. Well, I'll say, because I've only played 2 of the Mafia games out of the 3, and I'll say that both of the Mafia games that I played, Mafia Remake and Mafia 3, those storylines, the characters, the voice acting, the mocap that was used, top tier, absolutely amazing when it comes to the stories. I love the stories that Hangar 13 does. So if all else fails, which I'm hoping they'll be able to bring it all together when it comes to the old country, because I thought that Mafia 3, they were going to be able to, 3 is a very important number with certain franchises where they just take off, they skyrocket, and one of those, of course, is Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto was out there for a couple of years. It wasn't until that third one came and bam, they went to the moon. It wasn't until, what's the game? Trying to think of it. This happens every time. I'll have the game on the tip of my tongue, but when it's time to actually talk about it, I freeze up and I can't remember it. Golly. Saints Row the third. I didn't become a fan of that game until then. So it's certain franchises that they hit that mark on the third go round. Unfortunately, that didn't happen for Mafia 3. But when Mafia Remake came out, that's when I said, oh, this is where they're starting to reach, that pinnacle to a certain degree. So I'm just guessing that based off of that work, Mafia The Old Country, man, I think we are in for a treat. And we don't have to wait long. May 8th, 2025 at PAX East. It's going to be something. I don't want to overhype it, but in my mind, I'll say I'm hoping it's going to be something special, but only time will tell. Let's go ahead, guys, and let's get into the next story. And this story I actually got from, let me see, where are we at? Oh no, let me flip this over. We're actually, this next story, I actually got this from VGC. So according, oh man, this kind of stings. This one right here, just a tad, not necessarily for me, but I will get there. But according to sales data collected by Alinea Analytics, and that's spelled Alinea, Alinea Analytics, despite releasing months later, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is selling more copies on PS5. Yeah, I'm gonna repeat it. They're saying, according to, again, who did I say? Alinea Analytics. Yeah, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is selling more copies on PS5 than Xbox and Steam.
What did he say?
Is selling more copies months later than Xbox and Steam. So for comparison's sake, in the first 6 days of release, the Steam version sold 91.2 thousand copies. But the PlayStation 5 version in the same time frame has sold 117.2 thousand copies in the same length of time. Now, to be fair, Steam did sell. Now, this is when the full picture does come full circle. Now, in total, thus far, probably a little bit more, but the last time they tallied the numbers, Steam did sell a total of around 310,000 copies. But it's expected that the PS5 version will sell better than that. And as far as Xbox numbers go, Alinea estimates that just under 5 million players played the game, but the overwhelming majority of said players has come no other than by Game Pass, with no purchases being made. Oh, it's hurtful. Oh, man. But you know what? I can't even blame Xbox players for this. I can't blame you, brothers and sisters, for these numbers. This is what Xbox has told their player base to do. This is what you do. Get it in Game Pass and don't even worry about buying it. Just get it in Game Pass. That's all you must do in order to play the game. And again, I'm trying to figure out how are they making the money back? Of course, PlayStation, they are selling hard copies, 117.2 thousand. Now, to be fair, if you add that number plus the Steam numbers, god dang, that still ain't that great. That's still under 500,000. It's still under 500,000 copies sold. God dog. But yet you had just under 5 million Xbox players playing the game. It just makes me wonder how many Xbox gamers, because let's remember, this is a really good game. This got great scores. So this wasn't a run-of-the-mill, had that Xbox situation going on with 6.5s and 7.5s. No, this was actually a great game. No, I haven't played it, but I've looked at the reviews, and everybody seems to think the same thing, that this game had the potential, not saying that it would have, but it had at least a chance of even being nominated for Game of the Year. It was just that good. So it just makes me wonder if they had to buy it, if Xbox fans had to buy it, how many copies would have sold? It just makes you wonder, but it's one thing that I heard. Now, I'm not sure if this happened, and we're going to look it up together. But did Xbox Game Pass, since we're talking about it, did they reach the threshold of over 50 million players? Because I believe that was the magic number. If I'm not mistaken, let's go to our friend good old Googs and let's see if that happened. How many Game Pass subscribers are there? Oh, shoot. No. Well, see, these numbers are old, though, to be fair. It says this is February 2024. It's talking about 34 million. I want to really look just to make sure, because I thought I heard that they reached the 50 million mark. That was a month ago, 2 days ago. Upcoming Game Pass. I don't see anything on it. I'll reword it this way. Does Game Pass have 50 million users? I should have said subscribers. It says no. Xbox Game Pass does not have 50 million users. It says while there are discussions about potential growth and reaching 50 million, the current user base is 34 million. I'm not going to put that on them. February 15th of 2024, That was a year ago. And Game Pass is, to be fair, it's been on fire. They've been having some joints this year. That obscure Expedition 33. Oh my, man, listen. That might have been one of the best games that they done had in Game Pass. Shout out to them for that. That was a huge pickup. Huge. That joker's like 90-something Metacritic. So it's like, man, Game Pass has been awesome. I understand that maybe Phil and company haven't talked about the numbers, but it's no way that they should still be at 34 million. That is impossible. If anybody knows the numbers, I would be interested. Call me or email me and let me know something. But either way, as far as Indiana Jones goes, it looks like PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 users alone are going to have to pick up these copies to make this game a success. Oh, man. Did I step over the line a little bit with that? Oh, good grief. Damn, I'm going to take it back. Nope, I am not. I'm going to stand on it. The PlayStation 5 people, the player base, man, we got to get this game out there. We got to get this game sales numbers up, man. They dependent on us. Am I going to pick it up? Yeah, I probably will. Oh, but it hurts me. Oh, it hurts me as an Xbox fan. And I know a bunch of y'all are saying, you ain't no doggone Xbox fan the way you talk about Xbox. Believe me, I'm a fan. I mean, I used to be a big fan of Xbox at one point in time, but they just haven't been doing what I need them to do. And this is one big reason why they're putting their games on PlayStation 5. Why do I need to go out there and pay $500 for Xbox? Oh, man. But listen, only time will tell. PlayStation, people out there that are buying the game, continue to buy the game, make this game a huge success, including myself. But let's go ahead, though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from Yahoo News. Now, some very interesting Resident Evil news has come up, and this was discovered by Dusk Golem. Now, this joker got a bit of a track record. Shout out to him. But this was, again, brought up by Dusk Golem. In Resident Evil 4 Remake, in the opening moments, when Leon first wanders into the village where gamers encounter a bonfire with a wooden cross burning, when rotated, now I know this is going to get a little intricate, but when rotated 90 degrees clockwise, the Roman numeral 9 has been edited into the wooden cross in the bonfire by Capcom. That's right. This is not a modder. This is not somebody on PC putting a 9 in there. No, this was actually done by the company themselves, Capcom, leading many to believe that this is Capcom's way of teasing Resident Evil 9, especially since we haven't had an official announcement. So could it be a situation that, look, we know that E3 season, it is coming. It is coming. And I believe that PlayStation is going to be there this year. Do I know for sure? No, I don't. But the way that Nintendo has been moving, Nintendo, I don't know, them jokers been moving crazy a little bit lately, but they've been out there. They've been out there championing the Switch 2. Xbox is, listen, man, you got to call a spade, brothers and sisters. Xbox been kind of on fire a little bit lately. I got to give them the credit. They have been on fire. They really have been bringing it together. I know I joke about Xbox. It's jokes, but it's not jokes. But I know I give them a hard time. But good grief, I have to give them so much credit. I mean, they got Oblivion Remake out there. They had Ninja Gaiden release earlier this year. They got a new Ninja Gaiden coming out later this year. They got their hands on Expedition 33. They got Doom coming out. They just had South of Midnight come out. I mean, these jokers are killing it, man. They are on an incredible trajectory. All angles. What I mean by that is all types of genres. And we don't even know if the Gears collection is coming out this year. Oh my gosh. All of this is in Game Pass. Game doggone pass. These jokers, man, listen, brothers and sisters, it is such a bittersweet moment for me. Because this is what I was hoping Xbox would have done a couple of years ago. And I know some people could say better late than never, but it's too late. It is too late. And the reason why it's too late is because the games are going on the competition's platform. They're going on a competition. If they had pulled this off like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, oh man. Man, oh man. Anyway, I've gone down that road, talked about that enough, but good grief, they have been absolutely incredible, just incredible. But anyway, like I was saying, getting back to the point at hand, we know that E3 season is here. What's coming? Tomorrow is May 1st. Getting ready to start getting warm. Whenever it starts getting warm outside, I always think of E3. I always think about the game showcases, and it gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. And I do believe, listen, we know that Xbox is going to be there. Could it be a situation where, man, who knows, Resident Evil 9 shows up on the Xbox stage? Now, I know that Xbox is supposed to be exiting stage left from the console space, but right now they are in it. So could it be a situation where Resident Evil 9 shows up on their stage? Or, like I said, could PlayStation finally come out of the woodwork? They already talked about Ghosts of Yote coming out on October 2nd. We all want to know what's going on with Wolverine. We want to know if the Venom DLC is real or if it isn't. We all want to know. We want to know what's going on with what's the other game? Galaxy, the Naughty Dog game. And I can't think of the name of it right now, but y'all know the game I'm talking about. We want to know about that game. And we heard Neil Druckmann say that he is ready to show it off. So could Resident Evil 9 show up on their stage? I just really feel like soon, hopefully soon, Capcom will show us something when it comes to Resident Evil 9. Now, this was the other thing. That wasn't the only Resident Evil news that was out there. Also, Dusk Golem, he did say Capcom's K2 and M2 teams are also working on Resident Evil 0 remake, which nobody really knows for sure if that is true, but it would make sense since it's basically the first game in the storyline, as it were. So I think we had heard something about that a couple of weeks ago. I think it was actually, again, from this gentleman, Dusk Golem, where he said that was possibly happening. So do we get Resident Evil 0 remake or do we get Resident Evil 9 first? Which one is going to come first? Only time will tell. Let's go ahead, though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I got from Xbox Era. So do y'all remember last year? Oh, my gosh. I got to take a breath on this one. Turn. Man, this. Anyway. Do y'all remember last year when People Can Fly? Which, oh my gosh, to me. By the way, if you've been listening to the podcast for any amount of years, y'all know that is one of, if not my favorite developer behind one of my favorite developers, or the developer who made one of my favorite games. I'm all tongue-tied here. I hear People Can Fly, and I just get so excited because the game that I think of is Bulletstorm. That game to this day is still my favorite first-person shooter of all time. And I am hoping and praying. Anyway, we'll get there. So, yeah. So, with that being said, let me get myself back on track. Man, y'all don't understand. I get so flustered. Man, talking about Bulletstorm, that doggone, oh man, that kill with skill mechanic. Oh my gosh, man, shout out the doggone Bulletstorm. Golly. Greatest first person shooter ever made, that dog. Oh man. All right, now I'm back on track. So, like I said, we heard, last year when People Can, about People Can Fly actually doing a partner deal with Microsoft Corp to produce a quote AAA game, end of quote, codenamed Project Maverick, with a production budget, and this got me excited. It had a production budget of around 30 to 50 million US dollars. Well, quote 30 to 50 million US dollars. Now I know, end of quote. Some people may say, man, that is a paper thin doggone budget. But in my mind, I said, no, this is People Can Fly. They can make that budget work. And they can work magic. And it's a AAA title. I believe in them. So, again, we heard that the project name was Maverick, that 30 to 50 million dollars was going to be the budget. And all of that good stuff had me so excited. Well, now, oh, gee whiz, if I had a drum roll, I would play it. But now we know what the project is, which it was confirmed. Now, this isn't hearsay. This was confirmed via a statement in the About Us section of their investor-focused site, where it says, quote, PCF, or People Can Fly, Group S.A is currently working on 7 projects. Gemini, a new AAA game developed in partnership with global publisher Square Enix. That's one. And here we go. Maverick. And in parentheses, they wrote Gears of War E-Day in collaboration, oh man, with doggone Microsoft. Golly. My dreams were shattered. Absolutely shattered. I was hoping, and I know it was hope beyond hope of any kind of cope. I know it was pure hope. I said, man, could Microsoft make my dreams come true and have them make Bulletstorm 2 for me? For me and others like me that want to see the game make a comeback. No, it didn't happen. It did not happen. These jokers are making doggone Gears of War E-Day. Oh, shucks. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But I was hoping, man, we knew the Gears of War E-Day was coming last year. I just was hoping that they were working on something brand new, a new franchise, or just something else. But nah, they're working on Gears E-Day, and it makes sense because if you go back into their archives, they actually worked on Judgment, which I know that game actually gets a bad rap. I played it. I didn't finish it. It felt a little different. It didn't really, I'm not going to say it didn't. It didn't really feel like Gears to me. But I think that my thoughts were already, kind of skewed on it to not like it because the reviews had said it was one way and it just wasn't a Gears game. And I hate to admit it, but I got to be honest. I do believe that background noise at that time, I think it did kind of shape how I felt about the game, because I was actually okay playing the game. But when I would see certain numbers or things, something used to pop up over the enemy when you would shoot them or something, I was like, nah, that's just not, that ain't Gears. It was something that was just a little off about it. But if I felt like I feel now, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have went into it with an open mind, because it would have been a game that I wanted to play anyway. Well, that was the thing. Hold on. I got to be honest. I don't know if I really necessarily wanted to play that Gears of War. I think at that point in time, I think I was a little on the fence with Gears at that time. So I don't even know if, I don't even know, man. And I got it for free. That's the only reason why I played it. And I didn't finish it. So I can't even say that I would have still finished it if I went into it with the mindset that I have today, that if it's a game I want to play, I'm going to play it. Because thinking back in my mental Rolodex, I don't think I was too super excited to really give that Gears of War a go. Because I don't think, it was like Marcus Phoenix wasn't in it, or he wasn't the lead character. There was something that was a bit off to the game. Was it Baird? I think he was the lead. I was like, nah, I don't want to touch that. So yeah. But anyway, it makes sense again that they will work on Gears E-Day, which I think that game was also, was that a prequel as well? Or has something to do with some events that took place before Gears of War? I can't really remember, but anyway, that is the project that they are working on. It's it's just a little sad to me, but I am excited for Gears of War E-Day. Good grief. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I'm sure we'll see some gameplay of that sometime this year, probably at the showcase. And it's just a lot of great things to look forward to. And definitely Gears E-Day is absolutely one of those. I was just hoping, like I said, I've been hoping for over 10 years that Bulletstorm is going to get a sequel. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm still holding on to hope. But we'll see what happens with this in the very near future, because we're going to be able to see it, I'm sure, sometime this year on the actual gameplay and get a good feel of it. But let's go ahead, though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from Kotaku. So we got a few details about the next Madden in college football. So for the first time in over a decade, this is great. Great news. So for the first time in a decade, like I said, the latest Madden, which is Madden 26, will not be available for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Goddammit. Finally, we're moving on from last generation. Oh my gosh, we're 5 years in and we're finally moving away. Oh my goodness, it's taking so long. You just wait. The numbers are about to go up on Xbox Series S's, Xbox Series X's, and PlayStation 5s. Matter of fact, that Series S, that joker might catch a little bit of fire in the next couple months, because it is the cheapest option. And man, these consoles, they just don't seem to want to, they don't want to bend on that price. Too tough. And if you're just trying to get in to play Madden or college football, oh man, you can't get it. And remember, college football wasn't even available on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So if you want to play that along with the latest Madden, you gotta get current generation hardware. And I am a fan of that, so we can move forward. So these games can get better graphics and things of that nature, better features, better physics, things like that. But that's not the only thing that happened. So, Madden 26, now this was a bit of a change of events. Madden 26 will be released on the Nintendo Switch 2 in August alongside the Series X version. Of course, Series S will be there as well. PS5 and PC versions of the game. We haven't seen this in I think over a decade. So here it is, Switch 2. They're going to be getting the latest Madden day and date with everybody else. Ooh. Which is even more fitting for the question that I have this week. Matter of fact, I know it's already up on your screen, but we going to get there. We are going to talk about it. But let me finish with this story, though. So, however, now this was interesting. EA College Football 26 will not be available on Switch 2. So they ain't quite there. Not yet. I mean, they kind of they're demoing on you. You know, they not even a demo. They're actually giving you a tryout. This is your tryout right now, Nintendo. They got you out there in the doggone Columbine right now. They want to see how well are these sales going to be on the Switch. We don't want to commit to you too much. We might give you a 1-year deal to see how you work out first. We don't want to put too much investment into you. We got to see how you, God dog, I'm stuttering all over the place.
Boo this man!
Oh man, I'm stuttering all over the place. Man, I'm rusty, brothers. Since it's been 2 weeks since I've been on the microphone, and I have missed this so much. I miss talking to you guys. You just don't know. Just so excited, man. But the thing is, again, Switch 2, college football isn't going to be there. We're going to put you on this 1-year contract, to see how you perform. And if you do well, Nintendo, if you sell a couple million copies, then maybe we will extend your contract and possibly put the college football on you next year. But this year, you're working on a 1-year deal. We're going to see how you do. So, yeah, if you're getting the Switch 2, you will not be playing college football 2026 on the go. Now, we got some more news. So, let me see. Oh, yeah. So, this is the thing. On July 10th, college football releases for Xbox Series. Well, for the Xbox Series X and S, and PS5. But check this out. I mean, this thing goes deeper. It is no PC version. These jokers said, look, I'm not dealing with you, PC. I'm not dealing with you, Nintendo. We are strictly going to deal with Xbox and PS5 when it comes to this college football. They said, the heck with all of y'all.
What did he say?
I said, God dog. So PC is on trial right now. These jokers on. They ain't even got a deal. I mean, well, they got Madden on the PC and all of that good stuff. So y'all on a 1-year deal too, God dog. I don't know what that's about though. I don't know. I guess they don't rock with y'all PC jokers like that. I don't know. But yeah, it won't be available on. They probably feel like y'all gonna change the players and all kind of stuff like that. I have no idea for real, but one thing that's for real, it ain't gonna be on PC. Oh man, consoles are awesome. God dog, I love me some consoles. But let me move forward. So you also get, man, now this is big baller talk right here. Oh man, this is above my pay grade, I might say. But if you're one of these guys that just got money to burn and you just like, man, you on your Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri type of situation, money ain't a thing. They got something for you because it is the MVP bundle. Now you can get the MVP bundle for $150. that includes Madden 26, the Deluxe Edition, and College Football 26 Deluxe Edition. Well, God dog, well, that really, actually, that's a pretty darn good deal. You get 2 games that are the deluxe versions of the games. I know they come with some kind of playing cards or something when they're the deluxe version, or some kind of points or something like that. Shucks, you might make out a lot better getting that version. 2 for $1.50. Yeah, actually ain't bad. You might want to think about that. But Madden, as it's concerned, Madden releases on August 14th. But for you ballers out there that got it like that, man, let me ball $5 if I can. But if you want to play the game 3 days early, and you don't want to play it on August 14th, and you're a MVP VIP type of person, you can actually kick out an extra $100 and get that early access to the game again 3 days early. Man, this is great news, man. The one thing that I'm just so happy about is that we are moving forward with current generation, and last generation is finally getting let go. We can finally get them from around our ankles, holding on, dragging us down and whatnot. Holding on, don't leave me, please. Jumping on the backs of this generation, doggone bogging us down. I'm just glad that finally they are moving forward. But let's go ahead, though, guys, for the sake of time, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from the gamer. And we got quite a few more stories left, but I will try to speed it up a taste. Now, this next story, I found this story very interesting because I thought a precedent was set. Yes, I thought a precedent was set. But apparently, leave it to doggone Nintendo to make things up as they go along. So we were told that the upgraded versions of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom would be $10, or, and this was the sweeter deal, or they would be free if you have the Switch Online Expansion Pack subscription. Now, I know some people are like, man, I don't want that. I don't want the subscription and all of that stuff. I get it, but it's just an incentive. So, I mean, it's okay. I mean, you get to save $20 if you have both games and you wanted the upgraded versions. I get it. It's okay. But, you know, for me, you know, by that logic, you know, like I said, it was going to be $10. Or again, you get the online expansion. So, you know, I thought this would be the case for all other games moving forward, that at bare minimum, it'd just be a $10 upgrade, similar to what they do on PlayStation 5. I got to talk about that too in just a minute. But, hot dog, that does not seem to be the case, because Nintendo Life spotted the Switch 2 upgrades for both Mario Party Jamboree and Kirby The Forgotten Lands, which I actually have that game, but they will set you back. To upgrade those games, they're going to set you back $20. $20 on dollars. Those games are going to set you back.
Move this man!
A $20 upgrade. Now, oh, man. Now, to be fair, because you got to hear all angles of this thing, and you can come up with your own answer of if it's worth it or not. But again, to be fair, the upgraded versions will feature expanded content, and for Jamboree, some, as they call it, some nice Switch 2 functionality. But nonetheless, this pricing model makes it seem like Nintendo will continue to price gouge wherever they feel it's fitting to do so. Now, I don't want to be the person that's making a big deal of $20. It's a $20 upgrade. But when you say it, and this is why it's so hard to just be able to say, okay, that's fine, Nintendo, you got it. Where the problem comes in is that PlayStation, even them, well, we know that the graphics, the graphical fidelity of the games that they have, Days Gone, The Last of Us Part 2, Ghosts of Tsushima. I mean, these are all first party games, and the graphics of these games far exceed anything that Nintendo has going on, and they come with extra features. Days Gone gives you a horde mode, gives you better frames. Well, the frames are kind of the same as the PlayStation 4 version being played on the PlayStation 5. But like I said, the fidelity is better. The lighting is better. They give you a couple more things here and there. The horde mode is there. The broken road or whatever it is included. So they are giving you the same things. They're giving you extra features, and they're doing it for $10. And Nintendo, they want to make a big deal out of it. Well, we're giving you upgrades for the Switch 2 that are specific to the Switch 2 console. Like, it makes it special. Doggone Xbox takes it a step further. Their backwards compatible games, they update them for free. For doggone free. You get certain features off of their backwards compatible games. But Nintendo, they're not content with the $10 model. They're not content with the $70 model for their games. No, they got to be $80 and $90. And now it goes for the upgrades from $10 to $20. They always doubling stuff, man. Well, not doubling everything, but it's always extra. So my question is, where does it stop? Again, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of this, but, and maybe it's just me. It could definitely be in my mind, but it seems like with this Nintendo Switch 2, if Nintendo can nickel and dime you to death, that's exactly what they're going to do. They want you to have online to get the games for free. That's understandable. I get it. You got to make money. I don't want to be one of these guys that are complaining that Nintendo is trying to make money when they're in business to make money. If they don't make money, they go out of business, and we don't have Nintendo around. So I get that you have to get your money some kind of way, but doggone, doesn't it just seem, like I said, maybe it's just me, but it seems like, man, Nintendo, you are just trying to get every single last penny out of your consumer base. And it doesn't make it doesn't make sense to me, because I'm thinking about it from a consumer standpoint. I am a consumer. I want to get the most bang for my buck. So no, I'm not going to see it Nintendo's way. And like I said, what makes it so much harder to see it their way is the competition is not doing this. PlayStation isn't doing it. Xbox is darn sure not doing it. Why do you think you can get away with it? That's the arrogance that I don't like. And that was the same arrogance that made me dislike PlayStation when it came to PlayStation 3, thinking they can make the cell processor, everybody will work harder to make games on our console because we're just that great. You'll go out and get a second job to get a PlayStation 3 because we are just that awesome. It's that attitude that made me an Xbox fan in the first place, and I loved to see it when Xbox was whipping PlayStation's tail up and down the street, having the better ports of games, getting exclusives, PlayStation being second to get certain games, I absolutely loved it. And now just seeing Nintendo and their attitude today of what they think they're just capable of doing, selling games for $80 and $90 when your competition is selling them at $70. Their first party, knowing that Nintendo, you can't hold a candle to what the other two platforms can do graphics wise. It's hard for me to justify that. But again, the pricing is different. $10 for some, $20 for others. We'll just have to see how far this rabbit hole goes when it comes to Nintendo. But I'll save that for later. But let's go ahead though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from Vice.com. So id Software just revealed a few details about the length of Doom: The Dark Ages, where they said, quote, now this may be spoilers for anybody that doesn't want to know the length of Doom or how many levels is going to be. I would say fast forward. I don't think I'm going to be on this subject too long. I would fast forward about maybe 2 minutes. So here we go. Spoilers with the levels in 3, 2, 1. So it was revealed. They said, quote, we gave this everything we had, left no feature unpolished. We have 22 levels of incredible first person, or they said FPS, single player combat, end of quote. Now, it also explained that gamers will have, quote, worlds to explore, end of quote. Now, one of them being the cosmic realm, which will have some pretty distorted and twisted designs. They said if you thought that the demons, those jokers were grotesque before, wait till you see them on these different worlds that you can explore. It gets a lot worse. So I think somebody did the math. I think it was on Vice.com. They did the math of the last Doom game, I believe, and they said it topped out. I'm not going to remember verbatim, but they pretty much said that this game will probably equal out to between 25 and 30 hours, which to me is a really good length. And if my memory doesn't mistaken me, it's going to be longer than the last Doom game, which was what, Doom Eternal? I believe that was the last game that came out in the franchise. They said it's going to be longer because I think that game topped out at like maybe 22 hours, somewhere around there. So either way, long and short of it, it's going to be a longer game. These guys are saying they put everything into it, pretty much left no stone unturned, and wanted to bring the best product to the market that they possibly could. So this is great news. And that 2-minute rule, I want to go ahead and just, in case somebody did fast forward, we'll just go ahead and move on into the next story, which I actually got from Game Rant. So now this is not very exciting news, but like I was mentioning earlier, you know, when a person is thirsty, they'll drink water that's room temperature, doggone. They just trying to quench some kind of thirst. They'll drink it room temperature with no ice in it. So this is really not amazing news, but leaked character concept art for Star Wars Eclipse has been shown, and this is being reported on by MP First. Now, the 13 pieces of art depict various popular Star Wars alien races, including Gungans, Rhodians, and this last one, whoa, this is a tongue twister, Xenzians. I believe it's spelled Zenezians, Xenzians. And I'm not very, oh man, I'm not that versed in the Star Wars universe. So these are characters or aliens that I'm not very familiar with, but maybe some of you guys are. So even though there is nothing more to go on at least, and this is one of my most anticipated games as well. I don't know when the game is coming out, but doggone, it's the same team that made Heavy Rain that's behind this. The same team that made Detroit Become Human. Oh, man, that game is sensational. The team is incredible. So these guys are behind Star Wars Eclipse. And my goodness, I am very, very much so interested in this game. It's supposed to be an action game, action adventure, if I'm not mistaken. And I really just want to see what those guys are going to be capable of doing, especially with the tech of the PlayStation 5, the Series X. I just want to know what they're going to do graphically, because it is one thing that those guys do exceptionally well. And it is the presentation. It is the graphics. It is the different choices that they give you to make. Quantic Dream is unbelievable. They are on a whole different level when it comes to their type of game. So when you have a studio with that type of caliber, and you double that with Star Wars, like I said, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan as far as the movies and the lore of Star Wars, but man, I have loved some Star Wars games over the years. So when you have that kind of team behind something like this, I'm just salivating at just seeing gameplay of this. So just hearing that these images got leaked, these pieces of art that depict these popular Star Wars alien races got leaked, it just gives me hope that the game is still being worked on. And we talked about it maybe about a month or so ago, that it is still in development, and some of those games will be releasing this year. So hopefully, even if it doesn't release this year, maybe we are finally getting to the point where we'll start to see gameplay on Star Wars Eclipse, because I believe it has been going on 4 years that it has been in development. So maybe, just maybe, Quantic Dream is getting to the point where they'll be able to show some gameplay off, but only time will tell. Let's go ahead, guys, and let's move on. Oh, shucks, that already happened. Darn. I'll tell you guys about it. But today, PlayStation they already had their State of Play event. Oh no, it just actually started. Just started at 5 p.m. EST. They're gonna be having their State of Play event where they're gonna be having Borderlands 4. Seems like that's gonna be the only game that is featured, which is a bit of a letdown. I was hoping that they would have had more than just Borderlands 4 there, but to be fair, they did say that they were going to concentrate on Borderlands 4 at their last State of Play event. So it is pretty much par for the course, but it's happening at 5 o'clock. Of course, you guys will be hearing this well after 5. But the other thing about Borderlands 4 is the game will actually release early. It's going to get bumped up. It's going to actually release September 12th, which I'm sure they'll probably talk about that during the State of Play. But that's about it for Borderlands and what PlayStation has going on. What I'm hoping will happen is similar to what they did in the last PlayStation State of Play event, where they said they were going to have a spring show, which this is the spring show. I was hoping God of War was going to be there, something like that. But, of course, that's not the case. But I'm hoping that at the end of this show or during this show, they will tease actually having a showcase, sometime over the summer. I know I'm going out on a limb with that. I've been, trying to, manifest that to happen. I'm sure me and millions of other people want to see PlayStation out there. But I'm hoping that's something they do. Am I holding my breath that that's something that they're gonna do? not really, but it would be dope to hear them actually say that, look out this summer. We're going to talk about Wolverine. And, oh, man, there's so many games I just want to know about. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, tune into it. Check it out. I don't think I'll be looking at this event. I'm not really a Borderlands fan. It's not really my type of game. Yeah, I would much rather Gearbox make another or publish or doggone have another Bulletstorm come out. Bulletstorm 2, doggone it. But anyway, let me move on. And we're actually getting towards the end of the podcast. But this next story, I actually got it from Yahoo Tech. So it's been a slight change. And we talked about this a little bit, but this is actually more of an update. So it's been a slight change to the GameCube Classic controller for Switch 2. Now, at one point, Nintendo said, quote, the controller is only compatible with Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics, end of quote. But it's been an update to this story. So when asked if the controller would work on games outside of GameCube Classics, Nintendo said that it's, quote, designed for use, end of quote, with those in particular, but adds, quote, since it doesn't have all the buttons and features found in other controllers, which I'm sure they mean the new Switch 2 controllers, that can be used with the Nintendo Switch 2 system, there may be some issues when playing other games, end of quote. So it seems like Nintendo has not fully just said, just outright said, no, the GameCube controller will not work with any Switch 2 games. Because again, that was the original story. It's only going to work with the GameCube Classic games. That is it. Get it out of your mind playing Metroid with the Switch. Not the Switch, but with the GameCube controller, it's not going to happen. Now it seems like, again, they're just kind of maybe walking that back a little bit and letting people know, look, it's designed for use, okay, with the Nintendo GameCube Classic games. But since it doesn't have the same, all of the buttons and features found in the Switch 2 controller, you may run into some problems. So yes, you may be able to use the controller with some of the Switch 2 games, but it's also a possibility that because of the buttons not being available that you would need to play those Switch 2 games, you may run into some problems. So they just wanted to clear the air with that. So it is possible, probably definitely not all, but maybe just a few, maybe a handful of Switch 2 games could possibly be compatible with the GameCube controller. We'll have to see. Let's go ahead though, guys, and we are going to get into our next to last story that I actually got from Gematsu, and this is a quick one. So Returnal now has a PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced patch that is available now. That joker shadow dropped a doggone update, PlayStation, you slide devil, you. Oh, man. A shadow drop of features. Wow. Joker said, look, we ain't got no new game for you, but guess what? We gonna shadow drop these features on you, mother lovers. From Returnal, doggone it. Now, these jokers got a PS5 Pro enhanced patch, like I said, available now. And, you will be able to play the game. Now, this is what it's saying. You're going to be able to play the game at a higher resolution of up to 2.5 times the pixels. Whoa, up to 2.5 times. What does that mean? I don't even know. I don't know if it's 4K. I don't know if it's 2K. I don't know if it's 1800p. I have no idea. But according to doggone Gematsu, you'll be able to play it to 2.5 times the pixels. God darn. Yeah, these jokers shadow dropped features. That is wild. PS5 Pro, you are winning. I'm going to tell you, if you have a PS5 Pro, that joke is getting a lot of doggone support. And I must say, it's getting way more support than I ever expected for it to. I got to shout PlayStation out for that. They're doing a far better job with the PlayStation 5 Pro than they did with the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's a ton of games already available for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Oh, I'm so glad I mentioned that, because speaking of PlayStation 5 Pro and upgrades and things of that nature, I got on Sunday. Oh, y'all know what I got. It ain't no secret. I got doggone Days Gone Remastered. And I'm going to tell you this. I am so glad that I did not erase my original game. That is the PlayStation 4 version being played on the PlayStation 5. Because when you buy that $10 upgrade, this is the first time I've bought a $10 upgrade. I was supposed to have done it for the Last of Us Part 2, but my hard drive space, whoa, it's a little tight around the edges. So I got to be careful with games. I'm actually putting on a console. I don't have the money to get the doggone 4 terabyte internal hard drive on the PlayStation 5. I'm on a budget right now, shucks. When that joker drop down a couple more hundred, then maybe I catch it on a Black Friday or something like that, you know. Hey, listen, I'm always open. If you want to give gifts, I have always open to gift. No, I'm just playing. I'm really just playing. No, I'm good. I'll get it eventually, man. But, so like I said, it's my first time getting a $10 upgrade, and it was very simple. You pay the $10, the game downloads. PlayStation, they tell you, look, you need to make sure that if you're going to play this game, you have to have the physical disc. So I'm like, already I'm happy and everything. Oh man, it's downloading. Things are going well. And like I said, I'm glad that I saved my original save, like I said, from the PlayStation 4 game, and pardon me for repeating myself, but that game, I had 27 hours already logged into the game. So in my mind, as I'm downloading the PlayStation 5 remastered version, I did have it in my mind. I wonder, am I going to be able to continue where I left off with the game originally? And the short answer is heck no. I had to start all the way over. Now, thankfully, like I said, I have the PlayStation 4 version saved. My 27 hours are fine. But playing the PlayStation 5 version, you got to start back at start. I said, I don't know if I'm going to do this. I don't know. So I started the game up. I will say, there's a couple things that I was not impressed with when it comes to Days Gone Remastered. And one of the things that stood out like a sore thumb were the long loading screens. Those loading screens seemed like they were just as long as the PlayStation 4 version being played on the PlayStation 5. That was the first thing. I said, man, this ain't an upgrade at all when it comes to loading times. The other thing I'll say is, and I know we getting long in the tooth, man, but it's been 2 weeks. Just want to spend some time with y'all. I ain't want to really rush too much. I just really enjoy talking to y'all, you know, but, and thank y'all for sticking around for this long. I always appreciate you guys. But the thing that I would say is, graphically, man, listen, it was some differences. Seemed like the shadows were a little bit better. The lighting was a little bit better. Graphically, didn't seem like it was like that big of a jump. I really couldn't really notice anything too much. It seems like the original had like a cooler blue, not a cooler blue color. Seems like the newer version has like a cooler bluish color to it, where the original was more brownish, you know, kind of seemed like it had more natural, like a natural brownish kind of hue to it, which I kind of preferred actually. But if I had to get into it, now y'all know me, I play games on easy. I'm in it. Man, my thing is I play games for fun, not difficulty. So I will say that was a big difference. And maybe it was in my head, maybe not. But the PlayStation 4 version of Days Gone, that version on easy, that Joker seemed a little bit harder. I felt like I was fighting a lot more freakers, man. I felt like they was coming out the woodwork. The only thing that I had on my side was the energy, man. I don't know, that energy, man. They were swatting my energy down something fierce on the PlayStation 4 version. But when I played the PlayStation 5 version, when I was clearing out the nest, when you take the Molotov and you throw it and, the freakers, they come out of there. I was used to seeing and maybe it was my imagination. Y'all had to let me know. But on the PlayStation 4 version, man, they was coming out. I ain't talking about 10 or 12, but it'd be at least 5, maybe 6 of them. They coming out there. Then I had to gun, man, I'm all tongue tied. Gun them down. Bop, 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 bop. But on the PlayStation 5 version, I did that. Tried to clear out a nest. It was 2 of those jokers came out. I said, what is this? 2 of them? Only 2? I said, wait a minute. Oh man, hold on. Now y'all know I love easy mode more than anybody. But as I was playing the PlayStation 5 version, even I was like, man, oh, wait a minute. This seems just a little too easy, even for me. So maybe they really dialed back the difficulty on the easy setting on the PlayStation 5 version. That so far is the main differences I've seen. Oh, and the controller. The controller on the PlayStation 5, it actually rumbles. The triggers, they feel okay. I'll say the way they described it, Ben Studio made you feel like you're going to be able to feel the motorcycle through the controller, the engine. And, when you're firing the guns, you're going to really be able to feel the impact of the guns. I have not felt that at all. Not to me. It seems like average, maybe even slightly below average rumble when it comes down to it. The triggers are nothing like Astrobot. Nothing. That is the standard for me. And it does nothing remotely close to what Astrobot does with the weapons or anything like that. Again, I'm only an hour in, maybe not even quite teetering on an hour in. And I'm going to say for the $10, it was worth it. I mean, like I said, you got different modes in the game that are great that I haven't played, to be fair. But for $10, I'm not mad. Now, if you're going to pay full price for the game, what I recommended, and you have the digital version that you actually got for free from PlayStation, I could truly say I think you could do without it. I don't think it's a necessity. It's definitely not like Horizon Zero Dawn. That was shucks. That Joker was during their remake. As good as that game came out. Now, again, I haven't bought it yet, but looking at it from Digital Foundry, God dog. And I have Horizon Zero Dawn, and I plan on getting the $10 upgrade, but hard drive space, brothers and sisters, very limited. But I would say you don't need the Days Gone PlayStation 5 version if you already own the PlayStation 4 version. It's just in my opinion, and maybe it'll change over time, but it is a minuscule. And I'm not trying to, that is not me trying to be disrespectful to Sony Ben. I know I don't even think Sony Ben was behind this though, but the studio, the developer that was behind it, I'm not trying to minimize their work. That's not my intent. So let me word it differently. I won't say that. I'll just say that for me, I would say I don't think if you own the game, and let's say you own the game, but you can't get the $10 upgrade, you would have to buy the game all over again. I would say I don't think you're really missing out. on anything unless you want that horde mode. If that's something that you really want, then it may be worth it. But I just don't think that it warrants, actually getting the upgrade. But like I said, for $10, it was well worth it for me. But those are just my early impressions. But guys, let me go ahead and let's get into the final story for this week, which I actually got from Glitched. Now, Phantom Blade, matter of fact, I think I talked about this, but hopefully I'm not repeating myself, but I feel like I am. But according to Chinese gaming outlets who have interviewed S-Game, which is the developer behind Phantom Blade, they revealed that the game will be 20 to 30 hours long for the main campaign, and an additional 20 hours will be available for side content. So if you were to do everything in the game, you're talking about this game taking darn near 70 hours to beat. If you're doing the side quests and the campaign. But that wasn't all that was revealed. Now, they said that the game will include an extreme difficulty mode that can be unlocked once you beat the game. And that was revealed at GDC 2025 by a Phantom Blade Zero representative. Now, that was the thing that really caught my attention about Phantom Blade, because I thought it was going to be a Dark Souls situation. I was nervous, but they came out S-Game and they said that no, that's not their intent. They're going to give you easy mode, medium mode, hard mode. And now they were saying that the representative, one of the guys was saying that, hey, I think the game could actually be a little harder than it is right now. And that's why they came up with the extreme difficulty mode for people that are into that kind of strain in their gaming life. So that's something that you guys will have forward to look to while I play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And that's going to be on easy mode for me. I know some people would say it's supposed to be normal, Kiaun. Nah, brother, my mode is easy. I enjoyed myself with that mode. But anyway, though, guys, that is the end of the gaming news this week. Man, it feels so good to be here with y'all. But this is going to lead us into the final section of the podcast, where I ask you, the fantastic listener out there, a question. And like I said before, I know you saw the question already, but let's go over it officially. So is Nintendo now? Are they now direct competition? This is something I said ever since I saw that $500 price point. I said, oh, no. You can't hide the shadow, Nintendo. Nah, you want to be the same price as the PlayStation 5. You want to be the same price as the Series X. Man, I even had to pause because I'm like, God, dog, you are actually more expensive than the Series S, which is a more powerful console than you are. Again, I understand you got the handheld mode to it and all of that. That's handy and dandy. I get that. But to me, oh no, you are definitely in direct. Listen, this is the thing. You guys know that I go up to Buffalo quite a bit, and shout out to Jim's Truck Stop. It's a truck stop that I go to quite a bit when I'm up there in Buffalo. And when you go to a place enough times, you actually kind of build up a rapport with the people that work there. Well, it's a gentleman that actually works there, and I'm not going to say his name, but he always has a Switch up there with him. So I actually saw him last Friday. I saw him, and I said, hey, brother, the Switch 2 is coming out. How do you feel about it? This joker gave me the long face and looked like he felt disrespected to a certain degree that I asked him, are you going to get it? He gave me he said, listen, I'm a Nintendo fan. I really like Nintendo, but this $500, they are crazy. He said, there's no way. He said, look, I don't think that Nintendo should be selling this console for $500. If you're selling it for $500, you have to be on the same level graphically as PlayStation 5. You have to be on the same level as Xbox Series X. If you want $500 from me, I need you to do better than what you are doing. And the $90 games, the $80 games, he said, I don't like it. And I don't believe I'm going to be getting the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not going to get it. I said, wow, that's how you really, that's how you're going to carry it. He was like, yeah, I don't like what they're doing. I really don't like it. So, I had already asked the question once we found out it was $500, are they direct competition? But this gentleman, he made it known that in his mind, they're direct competition. And that $500 is not a price point that he wants to pay. Another thing he said, he's not used to Nintendo being this high. He's used to Nintendo being a certain price, that mid-level price that you pay for Nintendo products. He does not like this pricing. So I'm thinking if he feels this way and he's a Nintendo fan, then how many other people around the globe are going to feel the same way? So, look, we know that the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to sell out. June 5th, it's going to be gone. July 5th, it's going to be gone. August 5th, it's going to be out of stock for quite some time. But when those hardcore people get it, how well will it do? I'm going to stand on the square this whole time that the Switch 2 will not be as successful as the original Switch. And I don't think I'm going out on a limb here. I don't think I'm saying anything that's, whoa, that's amazing. Nah, it's a average guess at best. That's kind of in my favor or anybody else's favor that feels this way because of that price point. So again, with that price point being the way it is, in your opinion, is Nintendo now direct competition? And I mean with PlayStation and Xbox. Oh, I've been waiting on this. I want to get your opinion. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can email the show, and the email address is simple. It is the name of the show. It is the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Or if you want to get a little jiggy, and do something a little different, you can actually call in and let your voice literally be heard by calling in at 443-627-9087. I was your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and I want to say, like I said earlier, thank you for being here. It is very, very much so appreciated. Thank y'all. So with that being said, before we tie this thing up and put a bow on it, or should I say wrap this thing up and put a bow on it, always remember one thing. It is not about the consoles. It is about the games. So until, man, oh man, next, we might be back at it Sunday. That's just a couple short days from now. We might be between Sunday and Wednesday. We're going to have to get it back in rotation. But between one of those 2 days next week when we do it again, until then, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.